Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Old Guard, the only podcast hosted by two OGs dedicated to preserving the sanctity of geek culture. This is your boy, Wally Analog, and I'm joined, of course, by my partner.
Yes, sir.
Rolls Royce. He's the keeper of civility and order in these areas, in these parts of the 82. 82, I called it 82. I flashed back there.
That's all right.
It is still 82 culture, though.
Yeah.
But it is indeed the old guard.
What, 9-10 years of it, man.
What?
Put a lot of episodes out.
That's right.
On our website, oldguardpodcast.com.
Well played, sir. Civility and order. Thank you, sir. So, it has come to our attention that not only is the writing bad of some of these TV shows and movies, it's not even finished. It's not even finished at the time of shooting.
I don't like that shit.
I don't like that. It is a phenomenon. It's a real thing. For me personally, 2025 and going into 2026 has been a year of awakening. Mm-hmm. Because if you told me that bona fide professional actors and actresses are signing on to projects with no knowledge of how the production or the show or whatever this in the form of entertainment ends or starts or progresses, I would have never believed it. You can't tell. Like,
In the criminal justice system.
What is happening, man?
So y'all, listen, this is the thing. So who brought this to our attention? One of our homies in the chat group found an article.
It's about Stranger Things, actually.
Was it Stranger Things?
Yeah,
I thought it was another show.
Season 5 of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
That season 5 of Stranger Things, they shot without the script being finished. Now, of course, being Stranger Things, they already have a lot of the beats and everything. But in terms of just season 5 script and how it's going to end, they were shooting and figuring it out as they went along. And it's evident. You see it in a lot of it.
So how it's amazing to me that you can determine what's going to be in the movie and then you have to write around it to make it happen. That's an interesting kind of way. I was aware that there are two types of writers in the industry, and they're called, one is a plotter, and one is what they call a pantser.
Interesting. Never heard that before.
So a plotter is somebody that says, I know how this thing is going to start and how it's going to end in every point along the way. That's a plotter.
Right.
The pantser, and the term pantser comes from flying by the seat of your pants. As they're writing,
that makes me laugh.
Even the screenplay writer or the author doesn't know. They start and they're like, you know what? This is what this feels like would happen. And it just unfolds.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
Right.
Some are very successful at it.
Yes.
But the two things that these two styles have in common is that there is eventually an end in a complete story.
Correct. And development.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it will, once the book is finished or whatever it is finished, it's submitted to whomever is responsible for making that thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
This, what we talking about, is completely not that. This we're at the studio, cameras firing, and we don't got a story. What?
Right.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
And Rose, I have to commend you. You went on a deep dive and found a lot of examples of professionals in the industry that have confirmed this to be the case, and for some of our favorite properties out here.
Right.
Some of which we were surprised,
Right.
about, and some of which we completely understood and made sense.
And some that I've enjoyed. And then when I look back at it and I go, oh, gotcha.
Plot holes aplenty.
I just was entertained and I let some stuff pass. But now knowing this, I can't let it pass. It bothers me now. And, you know, it's funny. Since COVID, the question has been asked, you know, is the movie industry dying? And we've seen the decline. Like everybody's watching from home. We've talked about second screen viewing, you know, where like we're dumbing down like the content. And it's funny, like when you were talking about, you know, one of our homies like sharing the whole thing about Stranger Things. I remember when James Gunn, when he stepped on to be the head of DC Studios, he was in an interview and they asked him, is the movie industry dying? And here's his quote. He says, I do believe that the reason why the movie industry is dying is not because of people not wanting to see movies. It's not because of home screens getting so good. The number one reason is because people are making movies without a finished screenplay.
Man, that's heavy, bro.
And I also remember, I hadn't
heard that quote.
Right.
That's crazy.
And I remember when, I guess, the relationship between James Gunn and Marvel Studios soured. There was these occasional interviews where they were kind of laughing and joking, like he said, I basically came up with the reasoning for the Infinity Stones on the fly.
Yeah, on the fly.
And he was laughing. He was just like, yeah.
That's what we do out here.
They even changed the cut, like, you know, they changed the colors of them at one point. It's bad. And it pointed to Marvel, and like, it sounds like we bag on Marvel, but.
Well, they set a high bar for themselves that they failed to reach.
That, and I wonder if the demand, instead of the studios going, hey, we realize that the public demand for the next movie is high. Let's take our time and make a quality product. Instead, it's kind of like, well, we need to get this out ASAP. Next sequel.
Dare I say the demand wasn't necessarily from the public as much as it was from those who made money off of all those movies. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I feel like it's more of the suits
because people will wait for the next offering.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. But we need to. Y'all bringing home Billy. Billy, a movie. They made like, well, how many movies they got that made a Billy? At least 4.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Right.
Both Endgames made a Billy.
Yes.
Spider-Man made a Billy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Infinity War Endgame. Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't one of them Iron Man made a Billy, and I think it was a crazy one, like 3.
3. Right. And that was the worst one in my opinion.
in everybody's opinion.
Right.
It's not even opinion at this point. It's fact.
Right.
It's the worst one. So what studio in history can say we got multiple billion-dollar movies under our belt? I can imagine you kind of want to get the next one out as fast as possible.
And then we have crossover appeal because we have other IP that are under the umbrella of Marvel, and we want to put them out.
So get them out, and as a result, and we've talked about this, right? We always talk, but we always spoke in the vein that creativity is hampered when you rush. Mm-hmm. It's not even creativity anymore when you're not writing yet. So you're not even waiting for them. I thought they were like rushing scripts. I thought they were just chicken scratching them real fast. Mm-hmm. They're not even doing that. They're not even letting them get the laptop out before they're shooting the end scene.
Marvel Studios has literally become a fast food movie factory. And what I mean by that is they got to a point where, and this is like, look it up. they have scenes in mind, like action sequences in mind, that are not attached to a movie. That's crazy. Like they got files on a computer somewhere that says, here's action scene number 4003.
Is it so open-ended as to not even have a character designated for that fighting scene? Or
There might be a specific character, but they haven't had a movie yet for them. So imagine Doomsday. And again, I'm not saying that this will happen with Doomsday, but imagine Doomsday if they're like, we got the X-Men. We need to have the X-Men on an island fighting off a bunch of Sentinels. Well, what's the story leading up to that? We don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Right.
But shoot it anyway.
And again, behind the scenes, I guess that's fine. But I think my problem is you're starting to hear actors are on set and they have no idea what their dialogue's going to be.
Here's what's not being talked about as it relates to that.
Right.
If you're an actor, a legit actor, a highly sought after actor,
mm-hmm.
you don't really have time to have to keep running back and forth to a Marvel studio production because they're changing stuff or they're making stuff up on the fly.
That's why you have actors.
You don't really have that kind of time.
That's why you have
because time is money.
Right.
And if the script is finished, that helps to expedite the process, right? That helps make
they can plan
smooth,
right? And they can plan their schedule.
You don't know. First of all, I don't even know what my lines are. Now I got then you got to give them to me whenever you give them to me, and then I have to get them right. And who knows how many times I have to reshoot this scene because I have to do it right there, and
mm-hmm.
I haven't had time to read and learn my lines.
So you have to be an improv actor to do it,
yes.
almost.
Right. And even if you do it, it got to be to the liking of the director. Now, the director don't really feel like he's or she has enough time to get it the way that he or she wants it done,
right.
Because you've already said this movie's coming out May 27th and we have no script.
Right.
So everybody's creative process is really being hampered, and time and resources and money is being wasted. Money,
and then they end up pushing it down, or they keep kicking the can like, oh well, Doomsday was here, but now it's
and then reshoots happen.
Right.
And man, bro, finish the script before you get. And I wouldn't sign on as an actor. Wouldn't sign on, but see, Marvel has enough cachet to be like, man, this is Marvel. Because there's still a community of actors out there that understand the gravity of a successful Marvel movie.
Yeah, it has ignited.
No one wants that regret to pass over the next Billy.
Right.
Zoe Saldana?
Uh-huh.
She recently became the most highest grossing actress in history because she's been in like 4 of the most top grossing movies.
Yeah, Avatar.
And both in games.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So exposure is there. The payday is there.
Yeah.
So
and more power to the actors for that too. Like,
yeah, right. Take it. So as
the dude that plays Shang-Chi, I mean, he's gotten so many roles after Shang-Chi because it's like, okay, this guy has made.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we see his acting chops.
You dare not say no to a Marvel, but you better have some time. You better not have anything else going on. You better not.
Do you think that system is set up where it's kind of like, well, yeah, we got it like that, so this is how it's gonna be? Because if you think about it, it's like,
yeah,
what actor is gonna be picked? Like Leonardo DiCaprio is like, I'll never do a Marvel movie because he already knows what the deal is.
Yeah, and he doesn't.
But he's already set.
Yeah, he's already set.
Right.
Yeah, he's already set. But
who knows? He might be in Doomsday, and then
but you see what I'm saying?
Tom Cruise might be up in there.
It's easy for a Chris Evans to say, "Nah, I'm good." Had a good run, and Chris Evans still showing up and stuff.
Right.
And I'm not foolish enough to believe that Chris Evans wasn't doing anything before Captain America, because he was doing some stuff, but a lot more people know.
But he kept trying at the superhero, right?
Yeah, because they weren't feeling him as Human Torch. They weren't feeling him Is that
Well, now they do because
they brought him back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? in the MCU, Wolverine, Deadpool movie. So that. But long story short, you don't tell Marvel no because you know what happens if that thing is successful, and you don't want that regret on you.
Yeah,
for having passed on what might make the next 1.2 billion.
Yeah,
but then
we've talked about this on the podcast. Like
Eternals,
like Dougray Scott, he was a guy that was supposed to be Wolverine, and I think he hurt himself on a Mission Impossible movie, and Hugh Jackman slid right in.
And now he's Wolverine
forever.
He even as old as he is, it's like people still want Wesley as Blade. Still, like, and I don't agree with it, but people still will not accept another Blade outside of Wesley Snipes. But you see what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of stuff that a Marvel actor doesn't want to, a potential Marvel actor or actress doesn't want to miss out on.
Mm-hmm.
But
because you can take a role and make it
that will propel you,
right? Tom Holland for sure. I mean.
Nobody knew that guy, man.
Yeah.
Now he's Spider-Man. You better not turn down Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So.
And again, like props, like Marvel has an excellent casting group. Yeah. And again, we're not trying to say Marvel's the only
they're
offender.
not, because there are quite a few.
Yeah.
That you've noted. We've already talked about Stranger Things.
Right. And Stranger Things, you can see some of the mistakes while they're shooting. And I think if you don't have a script, that also means I'm really curious about
maintain continuity.
Well, I'm curious about the process, because if you don't have a script, then do you have a script supervisor? Do you have a continuity editor that says, well, hey, Lucas looks like this, but now he looks like this.
Yeah, or starts looking like Tubi movies.
We have Demogorgons that can take all kinds of ammunition to the skin and it don't affect them, but Miss Wheeler can like throw a wine bottle and cut one open. It's like, okay, so in the midst of shooting, that rhythm, and they're just trying to get it done, I think some of those mistakes come up. And it's like, by the time you've committed to film, it's kind of like, well, crap, we can't reshoot that.
Let's hope they don't see it or know it.
Or even in the final battle scene, it's like, okay, no Demogorgons, but Demogorgons were all through the series. But for some reason, in the final battle scene, you don't see one Demogorgon. You just see a big giant spider.
Feels real Games of Thrones-ish. It feels real Game of Thrones-ish.
And with Game of Thrones, I can't remember. Was that one where they? Now I know. What? So I know. Was it Tolkien? Not Tolkien.
R.R. Martin.
R.R. Martin. I'm sorry.
George R.R. Martin.
Forgive me for saying that. Yeah. He didn't write the rest of the books, and the guys were like, "Well, we'll try to write it," and it just didn't.
And so, like I said, I can't say with any definitive.
They probably wrote a script that was just bad.
Right. I can't say definitively that they didn't finish a script, but I feel like the way it ended, that they kind of just let it be what it be.
Yeah.
I mean, all through the series, when people traveled, throughout. What was it, Westeros or whatever? Mm-hmm. It would take entire weeks of episodes for one trek from here to there. Man, they did
they
that.
Were teleporting
they was moving so quick.
Right.
In one episode.
Probably using the wrong analogy, chicken and egg, but because they're feeling pressure from the studios, like, hey, get this done.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing's already out.
Mm-hmm.
Get this done.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to shoot immediately to just make sure they're on schedule?
I don't know anything about the industry, but I wonder if you have a date. I wonder if there are not anything that says if you have a date, shooting has to begin on such and such time.
Right.
in order to make this date.
Right. Because my thing is too, and here's a thought too. And this is praying this is not a derail, but don't show me any trailers. Because if you got to shoot film and get a cut together and then you have to market it, which is the trailer, just don't show me any trailers. Just keep shooting and maybe show me a shot. They're kind of doing it with Doomsday to a degree. I don't know how I feel about that. But like back in the day when T2 was a thing, man, they just showed me a T2 being assembled in an assembly line and they had a black screen that said T2 coming soon. That's all I needed.
I'll be there.
Right.
That's it.
All I needed.
I don't need to see none of that.
Yeah. So don't rush.
They just shooting trailers, and you think in the trailer they're pulling from a movie that's been shot and has a full script been written for it, but no, they're probably just shooting scenes, and now they're like, okay, we got to somehow get that in the movie.
Right.
Like we're literally watching random
shots
that have to be written around to fit.
Right.
Is what I'm feeling like is happening.
Yeah, and I'm getting.
That's why a lot of times you'll see a trailer and then you be like, "What happened to the part that I was in the trailer? It wasn't in the movie."
Right. And unpopular opinion here. I don't know if I'm just getting older. And again, I love a good action movie, and the plot can be paper thin. I'm totally fine with that. I can accept when a plot is paper thin and they're like, hey, this is just an actioner, right?
Right. We're not trying to be
But man, like if I'm not connecting to the character, why am I here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think like specifically Marvel, they did a good job of you caring about the characters. I know when James Gunn was there, like I cared nothing about like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nothing.
I'm using him as an example, but like Scott Derrickson did a good thing with Doctor Strange. He made Mordo. Yeah. He developed his character. And then when you get to subsequent films, it's like, yeah, Mordo is like a joke. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
utilized and just disappeared.
Right. And it's like that gets missing in the process. And it's funny when we're doing research on this particular topic. There's this video where this guy is talking about not finishing scripts. And he's talking in the realm of indie movies. And if you want to compare indie movies with big budget films, I would say the indie movies probably come out a lot stronger. That's probably why during the Golden Globes, we don't have a lot of big budget joints. But we have a lot of indie movies that we haven't heard of before because they actually write a script. And they stick to it, and the audience connects with it. And what the guy was saying was, he said, I hate to use this analogy, but it's kind of like sex.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to date the person. I want to get to know them. I definitely want to have sex at some point because sex is enjoyable.
Yes, right.
But I want to lead up to it.
Means something.
And it means something.
Correct.
I don't want to get to I don't want to get sex on the first. And hey, there's some people that probably enjoy that.
But do.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah. And then we out.
We out here.
You know.
Cars in space.
Right.
Let's go.
But yeah, he was relating it to that, and it's like, if you don't finish a script, you don't know anything about the characters.
Nothing.
Right. And it's just an empty experience.
You end up with chlamydia.
Right. And then he said, I get it. As a director, you want to start shooting right away because that's fun.
Yes.
But he said, why are you there? What is the why?
He said, literally, that's the work. Nobody likes that, but that is the work of filmmaking.
Yes.
And you can't reap the benefits without the work.
Right.
You can't get right to the ice cream, bro. You ain't had your meal.
Right.
You haven't eaten none of your vegetables, none of that. You went straight to the cake.
Yeah.
No, bro.
And again, speaking of sex, I feel dirty here. I reviewed by myself on this podcast, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, you were disappointed in that, weren't you?
No, I feel dirty and I feel cheap because it gave me what I wanted, the spy stuff.
Yeah.
And all the trappings of that.
Yeah,
and
the
the
jumping
action
off
scenes.
buildings and parachuting and hanging off helicopters.
And just the movie star that Tom Cruise is in doing these films, phenomenal. But bro, like, literally, they didn't even write a script. They just had scenes. Like, there's this, and then like he's on a motorcycle and he's gonna fly off the motorcycle, and the motorcycle's gonna like get onto a train.
Yes.
There was no story written whatsoever about that. I've come to find out, doing more research, that they have been doing that since probably like the fourth film, Mission Impossible film, where it's just production line. Like, we just have these scenes and then we just write in the story and just bring it all together. So the writer is sitting there going, crap, they've already shot this scene. I got to write
creativity.
Right.
Because it's probably not the way he would have written it.
Correct.
Man, that's wow, man.
Nia DaCosta, she just
That's wild.
Yeah. Nia DaCosta, she was the director of The Marvels.
Yeah, I think
And that film,
story, man.
right? Same thing happened there, and she got to speak on it when she left, and she was like, she just did 28 Days Later, The Bone Temple.
Yes,
I didn't realize that she directed that, but she said it was the most fulfilling experience because
Completely
Danny
different.
Boyle gave her a script and said, here's the script.
Right.
She said the only contribution I made to that script was add more infected.
Add more infected. Yep, that was what she said. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And she said that was fulfilling because she had a script to follow and she could do her thing as a director.
As a creator.
In the script, it doesn't say what it needs to look like. The director's vision, that's her job.
Yeah. But
when
you've already shot it. You've already shot it.
Right.
And that's what I was saying to you about the time. Like, okay, so you don't even want the director to direct. You've already shot the scene.
Right.
Like,
and we only have a few people that are writer directors, like Ryan Coogler's or Tarantino's or Alex Garland or Christopher Nolan. There's only a few of those cats, and they can control both of those. And I guarantee that all of them cats got finished scripts.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. They're not going, I'll figure it out. I'll wing it.
Never do that.
No.
Because they too busy worrying about what film is going to be shot on. There ain't no way.
Look at the success rate of all the people that look at the success rate of all the people that I just named.
Your boy Vince Gilligan either.
Correct.
Ain't doing that.
Right. But I feel sorry for directors that have to direct something where it's like, I'm not sure how this is going to go.
It don't matter.
Right.
That's what we doing.
You can see the difference between Guardians of the Galaxy, whether you like the movies or not. You can see the difference between that and some other Marvel movies. And that is James Gunn writing and directing. So yeah, man, I think this is like, there's a lot of negatives that come from this, like lack of
ain't no positives.
Right, lack of character development, plot holes all over the place,
everywhere.
Story continuity,
terrible. It's zero.
God, and don't get me started on Marvel with the cameos that just don't make any sense. You know they're not going to revisit them again. Right, and that gets wedged. Like, there's a script written, and they're like, Harry Styles would be great to play Star Fox here. Why is Star Fox in the Eternals? Are we going to go back to the Eternals, y'all? I don't see an announcement date.
Don't throw Blade in there in the background.
But my thing is, you're writing as if everything's going to be a hit, and there's no guarantee it's going to be a hit.
Right.
And I guarantee when Marvel looks at Eternals, they go, we can't do another Eternals again. It wasn't cost effective for them to do.
Nope.
You know, like
Nope.
it's literally a gamble.
But they got to the point where they felt like they could do no wrong because fans be caping. And it's like we gonna still go run into the theaters because it's because it says Marvel Studios at the front. And
Russo brothers. I love those guys, but man, Endgame, again, I loved Endgame, but what I did not like is when people start asking questions about the plot holes. There was a lot of homida
and weird explanations that will come out.
If you wrote a solid script, you would go, well, this is a reason why this happened. This is a reason why Hulk got a 2-piece and he...
All of that.
Right.
Yep.
So get ready, y'all. Like Doomsday is going to be a bunch of fan service. The people
I'm
that got...
telling you, man,
like,
this movie is going to be propped up erroneously as a good movie because people want it to be. It's not gonna be. It's not, because this stuff is happening, and they've not done anything to improve, to make me feel confident that they have turned over a new leaf for 2026, bro. They've not done it.
Well, let's talk about this real quick. I know we've talked about a lot of negatives because this is a negative thing. You gotta have a script.
Yeah, man.
But like, for example, did you know Rogue One was unfinished script? Like, and I don't know definitively if it was unfinished or the script was written and they were like, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah.
But they brought in Tony Gilroy and he kind of wrote the rest of it as they were shooting.
Dude, for those who don't know, that's the Andor
right.
dude.
Yeah.
Andor.
And then that birthed Andor. And if you watch Andor and then you go back and watch Rogue One, different experience.
Right. Because he knew how to, okay, I know what I have here.
Yes.
And so now I can build a complete story leading up to what you already know what inevitably will happen to Andor.
So I wonder if he was a pantser in that, because he was kind of thrown into a situation where, hey, man, this ship is sinking here.
Not really, because he had to plan how he was going to join the two together. I feel,
but he might not have known that Andor was going to be a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
When he got, because Rogue One come first.
You think, yeah, but
I don't think he was thinking about Andor when he was doing Rogue One.
I don't think, I don't think Andor was on their radar. But
I'm saying I'm citing that example to show like it is interesting when you have a unfinished script and it seems to work itself out. Like they got really lucky.
Yeah. So you're saying, because you're saying because Rogue One wasn't complete,
right?
And then he had to, I can see what you're saying.
Right.
That was. And the
only thing that Rogue One was really that held it up was the last scene.
Yeah,
they just inserted that scene.
Just threw it in there, and everything was fine.
Right.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, but Andor was kind of it. I personally think he did a great job of going, okay, I use my experience with Rogue One, and then I'm gonna go back to Andor. I find these characters, they're full of depth, and he had the opportunity to flesh out Cassian.
Yep.
And then make it matter. So by the time, spoilers, he dies in Rogue One, you feel that joint. Like, this is not some random dude. This dude was about that work and he was instrumental in getting the rebellion started.
Yep.
So
him and a lot of others in the background, man. It's
another last example I'll cite when we get out of here. Wolf of Wall Street. So that was an example of they had a script. They actually had a book. The book was written about the Wolf of Wall Street by the guy. Forgot his name already. So there was a book, source material, but there was a script written, just a screenplay just for the movie that they were going to shoot with Leo.
Adapted screenplay. Yeah,
right. So the script was approved, and then Martin Scorsese got with Leo and said, we're going to do this a little differently. Here's a script. We're going to use this as a basis, but y'all freestyle. And they wanted it. There was intention to it. It was an artistic intention. I want this movie to feel like a Jackson Pollock painting. And if you don't know who Jackson Pollock is, he was a painter that would just throw these paint sloshes and it just looks like a mess. But for some reason, it's a masterpiece, right? You know,
Welcome to America.
Right.
Do that with what you will.
But it worked out because, like, some of those scenes are iconic in Wolf of Wall Street. They were doing all kinds of freestyling. They were shooting on the fly, but the script was always there to fall back on.
Right.
So
you still have a foundation.
There's a foundation there, and that's why I brought that example.
Right.
Yes.
Because it's still complete, as it were.
Yes.
Not we don't have anything, and we just have scenes.
Right.
That's different.
Right. And it's okay to have a script, it's approved, and then they're shooting it and it goes, this doesn't feel right. Let's tweak the dialogue here.
Yeah.
And let's reshoot this and do that. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But when you have nothing, it opens up a whole can of worms where it's like, well, what are we doing?
And no point of reference if you have to go back and, like you were saying earlier, harken back to something. Okay, does this fit with what we did earlier?
Mm-hmm.
She was this way. Have we done enough character development throughout to get her to this point? Does it make sense?
Yeah. And I think the whole reason we're bringing this up and bringing it to our audience attentions, and thanks for obliging us, but it actually puts a lot of things in question that I've watched. Like I look at Ironheart and go, was this script unfinished?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of jumping around and a lot of, or it was a script, or it begs the question, was a script done? And then other people jumped in and said, no, we ain't doing that. We'll put this guy in. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason that may be.
I need the documentary on for directors and writers to come out and expose the industry and the ones that are responsible and the projects that they were responsible for.
They say it subtly. I mean, Nia DaCosta.
I don't want to. I want.
She was very.
Yeah, I know she just respected.
And I think she's like, I'll never do a Marvel movie again, so I'm just gonna speak on it.
Right. So she don't care. She's had her fill.
And probably got dragged by the fans on the Marvels.
Yeah, now we got to be careful, right? Because she might be disgruntled because her movie didn't do well. So we don't know. But it's two sides to every story. But
she keeps working. Yeah,
I tend to agree with her.
Because my thing is the movies that she's done have done okay. Yeah. So it's
right. She has enough credibility to where if she stands up and says that, then she could be very well.
Yeah, because she has other work. Now, if the work keeps looking like keeps doing like the Marvels, it's like, well, no.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You know,
that makes sense. Completely sensible.
Yeah. But yeah. Reasonable. Yeah. But I mean, you got a point there.
It's bad out here, man.
I just.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
We just finna shoot? Man, wasting money and resources are just a thing, man. And they gotta count that in the budget, bro. That's being counted when stuff.
So that's the solution, y'all. Just
250 and 300 million, 400 million. I wonder how much of that is because you didn't have a script, and you had to keep,
But that's the crazy part. There's that much money spent. That much money is spent, and there's no script. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. And it's gonna accumulate because you've not optimized. You're not efficient. That is the low of that is the height of inefficiency, man. When you don't even have a plan. You don't go anywhere you don't know. And I gave this analogy to you earlier.
Right.
If we go into Disneyland, what's the first thing you're gonna do? For those of you too young to know what MapQuest is, or even before the internet, a map.
Right.
A fold-out map from the gas station.
Right.
You need a map. Now you got GPS.
Right.
The script is GPS, bro. Like, how are we going to get from scene 1, act 1 to the end of act 3? How are we going to get there?
How is the audience going to connect with our hero or our villain?
What you going to do?
Right.
How you going to establish...
How's this line gonna hit? Bury me with my ancestors in this. You know what I'm saying? Like That's writing.
Yes.
If there's no script, that don't happen. That doesn't happen. No way. You're not that creative.
Who is signing on to do? Who are the actors and actresses that are agreeing to do these scriptless movies?
Ones that want money and exposure, like we just said.
Yes, but what if it's not Marvel? But the examples we're citing are
big budget. Yeah.
They, like you said, there's not these indie ones.
Yeah, or smaller budget.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And they feel like this is a career changer.
That's definitely pointing
changer for me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely pointing at the big budget.
Big budgets,
yeah. These
No, they're
big
not doing that
studios.
where they're borrowing money.
A24 is not doing that.
No.
Unless they're doing some experiment.
Because they got 30 days to shoot, bro. We don't have time for no story.
Right.
We don't
A24 got some money now.
Limited time, limited resources, limited
and limited release.
Right. We don't have
the money or the time to.
So
yes.
Everything needs to be planned out thoroughly.
Right.
They feel like these big budgets feel like they have the luxury to just play in our face, as they say. Like, no, bro.
And I get it. If you're gonna make a movie and you don't really care about awards, I'm totally fine. Movies are entertainment.
But movies tell stories.
Right.
You don't even have a story.
Correct.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
A book with no words in it, just picture. You got a picture book.
Right. And I understand movies being self-aware and going, hey, there's no script here, so we just flying by the seat of our pants. At least set that up. But yeah, it's bad out here.
Bro, yeah.
And it just makes me sad. It really does, because like there was movies that I enjoyed, and then I hear this and see what the process was, because I'm the kind of guy that will like listen to the commentary, or like do more research on it. And when you hear that one of the movies that you enjoyed, I don't know, it's almost like I have to do the math on it. Like, okay, well, did I just enjoy Mission Impossible because it just did the whiz bang, or
and
it wasn't really like when they're gonna fight, because it wasn't like that, but it was kind of like
there's always gonna be some action.
It was
from start to ending.
But yeah, I knew going into Mission Impossible as I was watching it. Yeah, the story was all over the place, and but for some reason I still walked out of there going, well, I thought it was entertaining. But again, maybe that's where I turned my brain off. But I don't like turning my brain off at this. I'm old. I'm 50, so I like.
Man, we like.
Yeah. I'll turn my brain off on like a martial arts movie.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like
it's crazy. Outlandish on some crap.
Plot point A to plot point B, and then we're done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's fighting in between.
That's right.
If Marvel's doing that, just say you're doing that. Don't make it bigger than what it is.
Nah, don't do that.
Yeah. Just bring Battle World on and Secret Wars, and we'll be okay.
Yard matey, don't waste your time.
Yeah, we'll finish this episode.
Oh man, just give us your thoughts. Finish your scripts,
please.